All right, want to welcome everybody to another episode of Levi's Youth Sports Talk. First off, thank to the sponsors, Justin Womack for the chain you see behind me, and Steve Aguado for the banner you see. Also, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and also like this video. We're gonna actually Gabby, I haven't introduced us yet, but she's the founder of Mission City Athletics and Mission City Fast Pitch and the Training Lab. So we doing a little collab. We got a little collab thing going on where we're going to try to, push these athletes to be great. She gonna handle them with the field, and I handle them on camera. That'd be my thing. But at Mission City Athletics, the goal is to educate, inspire, and showcase youth athletes while highlighting the positive impact of development, community involvement, and mentorship throughout San Antonio. So now let's welcome GabbyGuzman, founder director of Mission City Athletics, the Training Lab, and Mission City Fast Pitch. Welcome to the show, Gabby.
Hi, thank you for having me. I own all three of those, and I'm a product of the San Antonio community. I played since I was 7 years old. I've grown up in the whole community, so I firsthand have witnessed the obstacles and adversities that I feel a lot of youth athletes face down here, especially because there are limited resources, opportunities, and accessibility. And that's why I've created these three different organizations so that way I can make a bigger impact and we can kind of close that gap between our city and those other big Texas cities.
Mhm. Right. So, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. We talked. It was real quick. We both have a good insight on what we want to do, how we want to do our stuff, and it's we got the same type of path. So that's why we was able to partner up, a collab, however y'all want to say it. But Gabby, first off, you want to tell us about your upbringing and like what sports did you play growing up?
Yeah, so I started off actually as a cheerleader. I did all-star competitive cheer from when I was 3. I was on a show team at 3, and I did it all the way up until 9 years old. And then that's kind of when I started to branch off really away from cheer. And I realized that my passion was softball. I liked it more. So I did cheerleading and then I did softball. And that's pretty much it. I did 4-H and FFA too. I think that's also another cool little, it's not a sport, but I think it's a really cool little thing that I did. I showed pigs, and I just have been playing softball my whole life. It's always just been a part of me. I really don't remember a time without it, but it's made an amazing impact on my life. I can't imagine what I would be doing without it. So I definitely have a very big heart for it.
Okay, so you said you was showcasing
Oh
pigs.
yeah.
How was that? I mean, how do you practice that, training them, or however you got to do to?
Yeah, it actually, you'd be surprised. It's, in my opinion, it takes more discipline than sports because you're taking care of an actual animal. And not only that is you have to be literally giving up all of your fall. I definitely highly recommend anyone that is interested in doing Fortune FFA, if they have a program near them, definitely explore that because you learn a lot of wonderful skills that you really wouldn't learn anywhere else. The discipline is unmatched with stock show kids, especially because you have to take care of your animal. You have to bathe it every single week. You have to weigh it, maintain the weight. You have to understand you're not going to be, like, I remember during high school, I couldn't always go to all the football games or just all the little events that high schoolers go to because I had to be disciplined and I had to take care of my animal. But I will say I think it paid off in the long run because I ended up winning my junior year. I won the whole thing. I got, well, grand champion pig my junior year in 2019.
Oh,
That's a long
okay.
time ago.
Yeah, I don't think I could have did.
It's fun. It's fun. It's really, you'd be surprised. It's actually very competitive. I think it's probably just as competitive as softball. Yeah, you have to see when you show it, you have to also present the pig yourself. And if you're good at showing, your pig can kind of, you can squeeze into that top 3 rank. But
Mm,
it's definitely, it's an interesting sport. You won't see it too or hear people talk about it too often, but it is so competitive. It is insane.
okay. Shout out to you and your pigs. So, what made you fall in love with softball?
I think that's an excellent question because I think there's so many different attributes that go along with the sport. For me, I'm very competitive, and I think I thrive in that competition environment. But I think where I really found myself at peace and at home with it was growing up. It was my escape to get away from whatever problems I had going on. I liked the fact that it was you knew you had to train every day to maintain your skill level, but on top of that, you also have to understand how to handle adversity even when you're putting in the work. I think that's a big thing. It's I've seen it so many times and I've struggled with it where I would practice and I'd practice and I wouldn't understand, okay, well, why am I practicing so hard and I'm not getting results? And I think for a lot of young women, they learn a lot of valuable life lessons in that because it's understanding that just because you show up every single day to do something, you're not going to always get what you want. You have to understand that you got to keep going. Even if you don't see results, you continue. And eventually one day you'll see your growth. And that's why I really liked it. I liked that constant routine. I liked the structure that I had. I knew every day that I was going to go to my cage and I was just going to hit. And for me, like I said, it was an escape. Whenever I was having, like a bad day at school or just you're in a mood or whatever, you can just go hit the ball, throw. For me, I really loved the structure that it had with a constant routine and understanding that you were never going to be perfect at this sport because it's a game of failure. Like a 400 batting average is amazing. And that's a 40 on a test when you think about it. So it's definitely, I think for me, I love winning and I love the competition aspect, but I think I like the behind the scenes is what really made me fall in love with it. I can't imagine my life without it. To this day, the girls will be hitting soft toss and I'll be like, move out the way. Let me field. But it's just fun. I really enjoy it. And you learn a lot of things that I feel you won't learn anywhere else, especially being a woman too. In this field, as a coach, as an athlete, I've definitely had my fair share of struggles and battles. I remember when I was a little bit younger, like 21, 20, I really struggled on proving why I deserved to be here, what separated me from everyone else, and everyone uses that same excuse as though you're young. But in all reality, I think that had I not been growing up with that exact platform structure of you continue going, you don't let failure define your future. I think that's a big reason why I've been able to succeed in a lot of the things that I do. And I think that's why I'm still standing here today and built what I built. And I plan to expand that and keep going and create a long lasting legacy here in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all about the behind the scenes work. A lot of people are like, why we always got to do this and why we always got to do that, and it's like, well, I mean, if you don't work behind the scenes, then how you supposed to, get better? How are you gonna, showcase your skills if you're not working, behind the scenes?
It's definitely how much extra work you put in, for sure. It always
Yeah,
shows. You can
yeah,
tell. You can tell who's been prepared for that moment and who. It's like bending, don't break. That's
yeah,
the biggest. Are you
yep.
prepared for it? A lot of it's mental though too. I think that's another thing that goes into play is when you're constantly. You don't have patience for a
My
pig.
wife, my wife said he would not have patience for a pig.
I swear they're really 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 fun. I need to send you a picture. I'll probably text you a picture of them because it was a lot of fun. I would do it again in a heartbeat. But I aged out at 18. Um, but definitely with having those key lifelong lessons is why I've been able to continue doing what I'm doing. So I huge advocate for just youth sports in general too, because I just think it shows kids discipline and it shows them how to have structure and a routine. Even if you don't want to be competitive, that's fine, but you need to understand that you signed up to do something, you're going to fulfill your commitment, you're going to understand your role, and you're going to do your best at it. Even if you don't want to practice every day, you're still going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lord. Shout out Eloy. Eloy is
Oh,
a big
Eloy.
time supporter. He said, "Hey, Gabby, big time supporter." I had Eloy on here a few times actually.
Oh yes, he's awesome. He
Yeah.
owns or has the hot shots in here in San Antonio, and
Mhm.
so inspiring. He's gotten so many kids to the next level. It's a wonderful thing.
Yep.
Shout out Eloy.
That's somebody else. Vanessa Delgado. I'm so happy I'm listening. I'm definitely good podcast as a softball mom. Yes, it's gonna be
I
soon.
know her. Hi, Vanessa. I love you, Vanessa. She's
So,
awesome. She's cool.
yeah. Okay. Talk about the difference between high school ball and select ball. Because I know a lot of people try to say, oh, high school ball is, it's just this, it's for memories. Select ball has its perks and whatever you want to do it. So for you, you done been through it, you done high school ball, select ball, college, but talk about the difference between high school ball and select ball.
I'm wonderful question that you brought up because I think it's definitely something that I'm able to share with everyone. The differences on resources in San Antonio, and you're going to really understand when I unpack it a little bit more. So I went to O'Connor High School. It is it just has a legacy for being one of the top programs in the city. We're always good. I'm Panther Pride. I always am biased towards them. So being at O'Connor, I was on a team that they ended up winning state after I graduated. I ended up I was a COVID senior, so I lost my senior year. I still remember, I thought it was spring break. But going on from that is being a part of a prestigious program like that. I was surrounded by just amazing athletes. They all played on those national teams. They traveled and they were amazing. But I will say, and that's something that I definitely saw the difference in, is from my high school team. And then you look at the select world. Some select teams here in San Antonio that you see the differences in those teams that travel more and the ones that stay a little bit more local.
Mhm.
And that gap, I think you definitely see it in the high school scene because with the high school, you have equal opportunity to share that same platform. And it doesn't matter really where you play select for. It's literally, okay, you're zoned for here. You're going to get this stage and y'all are going to compete. And I think it was eye opening for me too, because I saw kids that were super talented and they were amazing ball players and you saw them shine in the high school area, but they didn't have that same opportunity to be able to showcase their talent outside of our area. And I will say, I'm going to go down a little rabbit hole about this because I feel like it should be brought to attention is you look at San Antonio, how many fields do we have with lights that are I mean, there's not very many.
Mhm.
Do we have facilities? Not very many. It's very limited. There's a set amount. And our city is very big. We have a huge softball community, so many teams. I think it's a great thing as well that we have so many because it's just showing that the sport is growing so much.
Mhm.
That being said, is okay, we're growing, we're getting bigger, getting more kids involved, but then you look at our infrastructure and it's just not as much. Like I said, it's limited. So that being said is I think some kids, that's why we are just behind those other cities is because we don't have people. They want to go, people, especially whenever they do recruiting, they want to go to nice facilities. They want to have nice lights, the newest fields. I mean, everyone wants to play on a good little field. I mean, I'm not going to lie. So that being said is for San Antonio, I think that's another reason why we are a little bit behind on the recruitment side. And it's definitely something that I try to bring awareness to because it really is heartbreaking. I know for me, my team, my 12U team at the time, we were in the process of changing fields and we actually didn't have fields. And it was very difficult for us to find fields with lights because the ones that are available, they get booked out months in advance. So I definitely think that we need to fight for these kids and the next generation to be able to have those same opportunities. And if we invest more in our city and we create these different infrastructures and different just overall funding opportunities, I think that's a I think it'll fill the gap. if you ask me. Even if we just added one super nice one like the scrapyard, I mean, I think people would definitely come down here. We have a amazing. I mean, I may be biased, but I love San Antonio, and I like our way of life here. And I think a lot of people would want to come tour here and play here. But I definitely think that also we don't have the infrastructure, and
Right.
that's a big thing for
Mhm.
athletes.
Yeah, because I lived in San Antonio. I think it was me and my family. I think it was like 2, 3 years maybe. We lived there, and it was just like why? Like what are we doing? Like we practice. My daughter team practiced at a field, and this
What?
is in the middle of the hood. I'm talking
Oh
about
yes, those are. That's
car
just
chases
yeah.
and everything while they was at practice. Like it was just, insane, right? I think the whole time my daughter been playing too. I think the teams here from Houston, they might have traveled over there maybe once, once, yeah. And I think I don't know if you know him. His name Chris Pacheco. He threw a big tournament at Kennedy, and he had all the teams there from even from Houston. And I think that was like the only time. But then you speak of, fields with lights. I mean, it's funny because Eloy, I know he, do his thing with OLLU, and have they get, hopefully they have lights now. These girls was winning national championships in the NAIA, level, and they didn't even have lights on their softball field. So it's like, what else what else do they have to do to get? I mean, lights is lights. Like
Mm-hmm.
might have to practice early morning or at night. Like it's gonna start getting dark when the time change early. So it's like you gotta do something about that.
Oh, and especially with the time change too, that is a really big thing. Like I said, the ones that are available, they get booked out like crazy. So
Mhm.
it's funny because you'll drive by some fields and you'll see they won't have the gates in the outfield, like
No, yeah.
to surround it. So it's just an open field. So if you hit
Mhm.
the ball past center field, it's going. You're home run.
Yeah.
But it keeps going and it hits the little kids that are trying to have a little space of light to practice. So there's like a 6U team and a T-ball team and then the team that rent the field. And I mean, I think for me, it's also, like I said, I just think we need more and we need more facilities and infrastructure for our
Mhm.
athletes because our city is just, it's grown so much. We're one of the biggest ones in the country.
Yeah, yeah. I would love to see it, see it grow, like you said. But it need that park. It need that. But I mean, in Houston, not all parks are the scrapyard type of parks, right? You got parks that looks like Kennedy. You got parks that ain't not the best looking parks, but they still have tournaments here. But a lot of the teams, as they say, the top teams are from like Intex, are from like the Houston area. So you go here, but all the parks are not the best looking parks here in Houston either. So
No, definitely.
how was your? Well, hold on, go back to high school. So in high school, you was a 4-year starter, as
Mm-hmm.
you played shortstop and third base.
Mm-hmm.
Second team, first team, all district, and you
Mm-hmm.
played in the Heroes All Star game in your senior year. So talk about those accolades and what it meant to you.
Well, I didn't get my senior year. I was a COVID senior, but I was on the super team, the senior team, and the South team. My high school experience was a whirlwind of emotions to say the least. I'm gonna shout out my coach, Coach Caitlin Boyler. She's actually I still talk to her to this day. Wish her nothing, but she's just an amazing coach. She's really taught me so much. I think for sure with high school as well, it was definitely like I mentioned to you. You have to remember too, when I was in high school and back in the day, recruiting didn't have the restrictions either. So if you weren't committed by the 7th grade or 8th grade to go D1, you really weren't going to go. And I remember, I think I was 14 at the time. I didn't understand it because, like I said, I grew up in the San Antonio area. I didn't know. I mean, I knew I wanted to play, but I didn't really know how to get there. There was no opportunity or resources or knowledge where I can kind of figure it out. So I remember whenever I went to high school and Coach B actually was the one that kind of guided me and showed me the ropes and the pathway to go so that way I can get those opportunities. And she was definitely very hard on me. I'm not even gonna like, I remember there were days that I would think, why is she being so tough on me? I never was one to ever say anything either. Like, I would just put my head down. I just be like, okay, just keep going, deal with it. But I think about it now, and I think that she was so hard on me because she saw how much potential I had. And she was a big reason why I grew into the athlete that I did. I was able to make it all the way to the collegiate level, and I have her to thank. And also, I will say, her workouts, the hardest workouts, that, like, I remember it would hit like fifth period and I would be already like having a panic attack that we were going to go to athletics and just run basically till we can't breathe. And
Yeah.
it sucked at the time, I'm not going to lie. It was definitely very difficult. I remember, because my friend, she ran track, she's like, you run more than us. I was like, wow. Well, needless to say, is she really prepared me for the next level every way. She taught me, I think a big thing that she taught me was IQ, understanding situations. I remember specifically, I was a freshman. She said, you lead. And I guess it just always stuck with me that what she said is that the shortstop leads. The shortstop is the one that tells everyone where to go with the ball. You control the defense. It's shortstop and center, but short takes priority over center. And I really think that that's a big reason why I was able to flourish and grow into the athlete that I did, because she taught me so many just advanced softball techniques, fundamentals, IQ. And I think that's another reason why whenever I teach my girls is I have a big emphasis on situationals and understanding where to go. And even if, you're not in that position, okay, well, you're going to go here. If you get the ball, we're going to roll it. Brings me this way, I'm going to check. And she's a wonderful coach. Definitely had a wonderful high school experience, aside from my senior year being taken from me through COVID. But other than that, it was an amazing ride. And O'Connor, highly competitive every year. So it was also like you went to practice and you knew every single day that you had to perform, or else you weren't going to make that starting nine. So, like I said, it taught me discipline, structure, and I think it was the platform and the foundation that I needed as a young athlete at 15, 16, because she was a former collegiate athlete as well. So she knew what it took. And I think that's why I was able to flourish, because she laid that foundation for me and instilled in me what it meant to be able to compete and continue your journey at a high level.
Okay. So how was your work ethic growing up?
Oh, honestly, I've always been really just self-motivated. I think that's the word I want to use. Like I said, I've always been competitive for sure. My parents, I will say, they definitely instilled in me to have, if you want something, you got to work for it and you continue going, you don't give up. That unbreakable mindset, I think that's something that I definitely inherited from them at a young age. My mom was in school, so growing up, I remember just witnessing my dad. He would, do everything he could to be able to provide for us, and so that way I can have my opportunities of also playing. My mom was in school. She finished in like 3 years. So for me growing up, I think that's a big reason why I am if I want to do something, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to push myself to the limit every single day. And I think it's definitely what they instilled in me, is that unbreakable mindset. And you keep going, you don't make excuses, you just keep going. Like, even if, and I remember it specifically because my dad would always say, he's like, don't worry about no one else. Like, don't worry about them. Don't worry about, like, just worry about yourself, and you do what you need to do. If they're not working out and you're saying, oh, well, why aren't they doing it? Then, that's not, you're worried about yourself and getting better. And I think that's a really big thing that carried me all the way, because I noticed, especially is in the college world, in that high school level, is a lot of the girls sometimes would, you point fingers and you're like, well, why are you playing, or why? And that's where I really went back to my morals and my values and how I grew up. And that was something that I can honestly say I've never made excuses for myself. I've never worried about why they're getting better opportunities or why coach is favoring them more. because at the end of the day, when I got my moment, I knew I was going to take it. And that's actually what happened my freshman year. I was on varsity the first half a district, and we played at O'Connor, it's a 6A, and Northside is one of the biggest districts. So I want to say there's, like 9 teams, but we play them 2 times. So the first half, I didn't play. I was a freshman. I had to earn my stripes. And I remember specifically, I was sitting in the dugout, and the shortstop just kept making errors, and she goes, "It's time." And I remember the coach looked at me. I get chills talking about it, but he was like, "This is your moment. If you mess up, like, this is it. But if you can make a play, then the spot's yours." And I just remember that really. And I was 14, and I was like, "Oh my God, I was the only freshman on varsity at that time as well." And I just remember, like, I was so nervous, but the next play, of course, the ball is always going to find you when you're nervous. But the next play, it ended up being a 5-6 hole diver, and started ever since then. And it's a testament to how much you can take. If I could have given up, and I could have said, "Oh, well, I'm never going to play, and they're never going to put me in." But that's not what I did. I just, okay, my time's going to come when it comes, and I'll be ready. For sure, that's something I also try to instill in the girls, because when you get to that collegiate level, when you get to the high school level, everyone's good.
Right.
But how are you going to make yourself set apart? And when you do get your moment, you got to be ready, because there's a line waiting for their moment as well. So I think it's definitely very important that we instill that, and we continue to instill that in the kids and lead by example. So that's for sure one of my biggest things that I try to example for the girls. It is definitely, there are times though that I'm like, oh God, right now. But I try to stay level-headed for the most part, and just be calm, cool, collected, and help guide them in their journey, because that's why I'm here. I wish I would have had someone, like a big sister. I don't like to say a mother figure. I say more like a big sister, aunt figure with them. I don't like to think I'm that old, but definitely I try to be that role model that I didn't have. And I truly have seen it with some of my athletes, how I feel no one else could have gotten through to them the way that I did, because it's, unless you lived through it, it's hard to explain it. It really is. And when you're so competitive and you want to do good, like, I know that feeling. So when you mess up, it feels like the end of the world, but it's understanding how to navigate your emotions and understand that you have 2 options. You can give up, or you can keep going, because the ball's going to find you. 9 times out of 10, if you make an error, what's going to happen? The ball's going to find you. It's crazy. I remember one time I moved one of the girls. I was like, go to right field. The ball found right field. Moved her second. Ball found. I was like, oh my gosh, you're a magnet today. Poor thing. She was, yeah. But I think it was a defining moment of teaching her how to, it's building character. I think it's vital. It's tough love sometimes, but sometimes we need to definitely keep that with these kids, because it's just so competitive nowadays. And you can only imagine our city's getting so much larger. I mean, you definitely have to be ready to go into that young adulthood and stand on your own. So that's where tough love comes into play. It's hard, and I feel bad sometimes, but I do know that it's for their best interest. And as long as you're doing it in a positive way, but also still holding them accountable. Because I will say too, these kids are so fragile with the main age groups that I work with are that 11 to 13. And I noticed at this age, they're very emotionally fragile. Some of them, they'll act, like nothing's going to hurt them, but you see it. And it's for sure when they're building that self-esteem and they're building that confidence. And I will say too, I try my best always to empower them and lift them up, but you have to also have that boundary of, okay, but you need to be held accountable, and you need to understand where you were wrong in this situation, and so that way we can fix it and we can get better. But also in that light but I still believe in you. You just need to execute it better next time, or do what we worked on. So definitely that's one of my biggest things with the youth community.
Okay. What's something that you wish you had done in before getting to college, as in high school or select or whatever, that could have made you a better college player?
So it's actually a funny story. I actually committed as a shortstop and as a third baseman.
Mm-hmm.
I ended my career as a pitcher. I led the I led the conference in nearly every single pitching category, and I do want to say I had the best college coach. She saved my life. I love her. She taught me to love softball again. Kelly Rains. I definitely want to shout her out. Anyone that is going to Galveston, you are going to have the best coach ever. So sorry, I just had to give her a little shout out
Oh
because
yeah. No
she's a
problem.
very big part of. I think that she taught me to love softball again, especially because whenever you hit that college age, you forget that kid like love, and she brought it out of me because she was such an amazing coach. I can go on and on about her, but at the collegiate level, what I've done differently is I think I would have maintained my pitching through the high school level. And I know that's where it gets a little bit difficult because I see it as a coach now is when you have a shortstop and your shortstop's a pitcher, it just throws off the entire defense. So I totally understand it from that point of view. But I will say I look at my career and like I said, so let me give you a little backstory on it. I committed as a shortstop pitcher. I transferred. And I remember it was actually Eloy Pacheco.
Mm-hmm.
His team needed a pitcher. And I pitched when I was younger. I was from 8 to 14, I pitched. And I remember because at first I thought it was like a joke. I was like, pitch? Like, I haven't done this in years. And he was like, no, like, I need a pitcher. You know, you want to get committed your last year. Because it was my last chance to get committed after I transferred and I went in the portal. And I remember my dad was like, just try it. Like, come on. Even if you want to just do it for fun and this is our last hoorah together. All right, cool. I'll do it. Well, sure enough, I ended up getting an offer and it was insane because I really saw myself push myself over that edge with, I knew I was years behind. You have to think I was defender all through high school. So from 14 to 18, when the pitchers get the most development and they get the most speed and they get the most mental training, because that's a really big thing with pitchers, I didn't have that. So I went into Galveston. I told myself I needed to pick a position because it was just a stacked roster. I knew, okay, well, what am I going to give myself the best chance to make the field? I looked at the line of shortstops, 7 shortstops. I looked at second basemen, 7. Like, I had to put myself in the best opportunity to find a way to play. I did not care where. I literally did not care. I just wanted to find a way. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to do pitching. Like, I'm just going to go all in. And even if I don't succeed at it, then I can't say that I didn't try. But I felt I had the best chances to make it with pitching. So that being said, is I remember at Galveston, when it really clicked for me, Coach Rains came and she put me in at a Bossier Paris game. That was the name of school we played. And I remember I did really well. And mind you, I'm like still kind of navigating how to be a pitcher. Because when you be a pitcher again and then you do it at a collegiate level, it's, oh my God, it's a different ballgame. So I was definitely trying to understand how to overcome that obstacle of also understanding that if I didn't do well in this performance, I wasn't going to get mountain time again. It just was out of the picture. So I was very nervous, but I ended up doing really well. And I remember Coach Rains was like, oh, Gabby girl, we're going to start you the next game. That's how she would talk. She'd be like, Gabby girl, we're going to start you the next game. I'm like, oh, okay, like, cool. And then sure enough, she just kept giving me opportunities and I just kept doing it. And I remember when it clicked was I think I started realizing that I was the starter in the rotation about the third week her being there because we played every Wednesday and Friday. So it was 2 games, 2 games, 2 games. And we got in quite a few games. So I remember after that 9th game, and I kind of felt like I not solidified it, but I was the one to have that spot. I mean, I could have still lost it, but I typically was the one that was chosen.
Mm-hmm.
After that moment, I remember that's when it clicked for me. I ended up just throwing 2 bullpens a day. I would go in the morning to the gym. I would throw my spins, and I really started taking pitching very serious. So that was my sophomore year. And then I remember that summer, I still had a year of eligibility. So she called me over the summer and was like, can you come back? I said, yeah, sure. Like, I love Coach I love Galveston. It lived a block from the beach. It was amazing. One of the best times of my life. I have amazing friends that I met there as well. I went back, and I think that's where I really noticed that my hard work and preparation over the summer and really locking in for those 3 months. I mean, I think about it to this day, and I'm like, dang, like I can only imagine really what I could have done if I maintained it through high school and through my journey. Even if I didn't pitch, I think I should have still kept my arm warm. But it is difficult whenever you're in that season and you're on go 24/7. But definitely, I think that's one of my biggest things that I wish I did differently was try to maintain my pitching. So for sure too, I know like at young ages with a lot of the organizations is they try to pinhold the girls at 10, 11, 12 to be just a pitcher. But I think my story is a testament to that. I think there's also, you never know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel we shouldn't be pinpointing them until they're at that moment where they need to make the decision for themselves. Because, I could have gone shortstop, but I had to put myself where I was going to play. And thankfully, I had that skill of pitching. Because had I not, I wouldn't have played.
Right.
There's just no way I would have made it in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I try my best to tell my pitchers, you're going to play this, like, even if they don't want to field or I say, just even if you don't want to, keep up with your skill because you never know when the time may come. So when you're at practice and you're PO and you're kind of just chilling, I'm like, you need to be taking that serious because you never know. What if you go on a staff with, 15 pitchers that throw 60 plus, 65 plus? You know what I mean? Just got to be ready for any moment.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. So you started giving lessons at 16 years old. Mm-hmm. So what made you want to start doing that?
Oh, my sister played at Greater Helotes, and I remember she is a lot different than me as well. She wasn't as competitive with softball. And I remember I'd be like, I would go to the games, and obviously I met all the families on the team, and they found out that I played at O'Connor. Long story short is I remember my first client was Nani. She's a lefty pitcher. And I remember specifically them asking me, and no one's ever asked me before to do a lesson, but they're like, can you do a lesson? I said, sure. Yeah, like it's easy, So I would go at 16. I taught them, and I found out that I ended up loving it. And I think another thing too is being a student athlete is very difficult for you to find a job that is working around your schedule. Because like when you're in high school, you definitely have to maintain your skills. If you want to play at the collegiate level, you just have to have that time. And then when you're on select teams and you're playing every weekend, you know what I'm saying? So for me also, another thing that lessons have done, it's been my way of also having that opportunity to be able to work. Because I remember like a lot of my friends that weren't athletes, they wouldn't quite understand that lifestyle that, well, why can't you just work? I'm like, no, dude, I need to be able to travel, and I'm going to need to call off, and they're going to hate me. So if I call off, but that was a big thing is lessons always kind of just worked with my schedule. And they also have gotten me through now college. I've graduated with my bachelor's, graduated with my associates, and I'm still doing them to this day. So it's just a wonderful thing for me. I've always liked it. And I like that one-on-one time that I get with the kids because you really bond with them and you see them develop. You see them really grow. I really like it. I have 2 pitchers that have been with me for years, Aria and Gamila. And it's just been such an amazing journey. I've seen them grow up. I actually can't really catch them anymore. They throw too hard. So it's also like rewarding because I'm like, oh, you're growing up, but I'm getting old. I can't catch you. I know. I'm scared. I remember like I mentally prepare for their lessons because I'm like, oh, I know if you don't pay attention every second, you're going to get hit. But
Mhm.
it's really, I love what I do with that. I see the impact that I've made, and I definitely do plan on continuing it. So that being said, that's why I also created the training lab, is because whenever I was doing these private lessons, you know how we talked about resources,
Mhm.
accessibility, lights. I remember during that daylight savings time from the afternoon, I didn't have a spot for my girls to be able to go throw. And to go get a spot at DBAT or Power Swing or wherever, super packed. Because, like I said, we don't have very many. So that was another thing, is when I hit, when I say 22, 21, God, I'm getting old. I don't remember which one, but I created the training lab. And I do plan on expanding it. It's just finding the time to move all the stuff. But I wanted it to be like a little vessel into the community for me to be able to continue impacting these young women's lives, but also for other high school trainers and other pitching trainers that I know that need a spot. And I try my best to keep the price reasonable as well, so that way they can continue doing it. And we can all, like, the more people we can impact, the more kids we can create opportunities for, just the better. So I definitely am very passionate about that. I'm very proud of it. It's been a long journey, and I do plan on expanding it. It's just finding that time to move all my stuff. But
Mhm.
it's been an amazing journey. I love it.
Okay. Okay. So what inspired you to create your Mission City Athletics, Mission City Fast Pitch, and the training lab?
Oh, okay. So I started off originally with the lessons. I remember one day, and this, I just did lessons at the time. I just graduated from Galveston. And so I was in that limbo area, and I feel like a lot of college athletes, whenever they graduate, we all go through that same thing. We're trying to navigate just life, because it's like when you're go your whole life training for something and then it just stops. It was really difficult for me. I had to definitely find myself during those months, and I feel like I've had a lot of growth during those times. Though, when I was just doing lessons, someone mentioned to me, do you want to do a team? And I said, oh, like, okay. And I haven't done select in years. I said, okay, well, yeah. So I did the team the first year, and I realized how much I enjoyed it, but also how much I was able to see these kids really grow and learn under my wing, because they're seeing me 2 times a week. You got, like, these kids I'm seeing 2 times a week. Sometimes I remember I would even, over breaks when they were off school, I was like the crazy coach, and I would have them come every single day of the week, and we would work out in the morning and then we work out in the afternoon. Um, I know it sounds crazy, but it was fun for me, because I mean, I could be out there all day. Poor things, I would make them just keep running. But needless to say, is with that team, and I think that first team will always be special to me, because we grew up together, and I kind of navigated how to be a coach, what it means to run a team, because people don't realize it's a lot of work to do a youth select team. I mean, the people that do run them, I always tell them, bless your heart, because you do a lot. It's stressful. It really is. But you see what it's gearing towards, and it's gearing towards success for these young athletes. So I created the Mission City team. It's still going strong 3 years later. And I actually have been able to expand my reach with it. That being said, how I expanded it was, I knew I wanted to do something that was more community based, because, like I say, a lot of my work is geared towards how we can create more opportunities for this city. So I remember I was laying down when I was trying to, okay, well, what can I do? I could do this. And then I remember someone, like, I don't even think someone told me. I just remember I said Mission City Athletics. And I kind of started emailing different organizations and different programs. I started creating development programs, free clinics, mentorship, leadership. I wanted to also give back to the coaches, because coaches that, they're passionate and they want to help these kids, but they don't know how to. I wanted to be able to teach them. So I've created just numerous different resources for the community, so that way I can be that vessel and create them. So that being said, that's why I created Mission City Athletics. It was kind of to gear away from that select world, because like I said, select world also, it does get pretty pricey. I'm not going to lie. So those that can't afford it, I wanted to make sure that it's an equal playing field, equal opportunities. And then also to add my training lab into there this is my way of also creating a resource for people to have a space to practice and have a space to learn. So all three together, it's definitely been a long journey, and I'm still navigating it, but I'm happy to say that each one I feel has made an impact in one way or another.
Okay, that's good. That's all it. That's all it is. As long as you're making the impact,
Mm-hmm.
right? As long as you doing something, you helping somebody out. That's all. That's all that matters. What do you want athletes and families to experience when they become a part of the Mission City Athletic?
So, with Mission City Athletics, which is undergoing 501c3 nonprofit status, it is to give back to the communities. It is to also let these families and let these kids know that regardless of what socioeconomical background you come from, regardless of where you come from, you will have resources to be able to continue your journey. Whether it mean, I've done opportunities before in the past where I've actually sponsored athletes, and if I see that they're passionate and they really want to find a way to make it happen, I will. And my biggest thing that I want families and players to understand whenever they are going through this program is, although if you don't have, you may not have the most funding or the most opportunities to be able to play out of town or travel, whatever the case may be, or even play select, you still have someone that's here that's willing to help you, and I can help navigate your journey, so that way we can create that pathway for you to find success, whether it be to the high school level, whether it be to the collegiate level. But you will have a resource in me, and I will do everything that I can for them.
That's all. That's all it takes, right? Show them that you care. Show them that you're trying to help them out, and people come and jump on the train, because that's really what parents want to see. They want to see, are you gonna try? Are you gonna try to help? Or you just want to get the kids in there just to say, okay, I'm training this kid. I know a lot of people make sure, like, okay, what can you help me? What can you help me do with recruiting? Because I mean, a lot of these girls, they get into that age, and it's like, what am I supposed to do? What's step one in this whole recruiting process? Like now it's so much easier because you can just post everything on social media, but at the same time, you still kind of need somebody behind you to be like, oh yeah, like I know her, she can do this. I've been training her for this amount of years and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I will say too, also, I think that, like I said, social media can be a great thing, but I think it also can definitely make it more competitive because it's just grown so much. So I definitely think that, like you said, teaching them how to go about the process, and also teaching them how to go about the process at the right time. Because although they do get recruited by that junior year, you also have to think about it. You want to get seen sooner, so that way you get more eyes on you, a better offer, it definitely is it's a whole process. And if you're not educated, informed, or know someone that can help you, that's where I try my best to impact all these kids. I tell them all the time, like, I'll help you make a player profile. I'll help you create videos. I'll even teach you how to email, because that's another thing these kids need to understand, is you also have to advocate for yourself. And sometimes it takes you going out your way and introducing yourself to a coach. And I will say too, though, back in my day, I mean, kids were getting committed by like 6th and 7th grade.
Right.
So for me too, I try my best to not because I didn't know what steps to take. I didn't even know people were getting recruited at 6th grade. I was like, what? I remember because I saw a kid with the LSU shirt with the logo, and I was like, oh, is that her dream school? Because we were young, and they're like, no, she's committed. She's verbally committed. I said, oh, I had no idea that they even did it that young. So definitely, for sure, if you do not have someone guiding you, it's difficult.
Mhm. I agree. How important for you? How important is player development?
It's very, very important. It's actually one of the main things that I like to do my whole foundation on. I feel that whenever I can get them at that stage where they're still fresh, but you can still guide them to be what you want them to be,
Mhm.
I really like that. I like the fact that I'm able to see them go from, a kid that probably didn't believe in themselves, or a coach that told them no, or whatever the case may be. And I love taking kids like that under my wing and showing them, who cares what people think? You may not be as good as so and so or so and so now, but you put your head down, we'll figure it out. I will teach you. And that's my favorite thing. That's I all my kids that have came to me, they truly have came to me at a different level, and they've just flourished. I'm so proud of them, all of them. I have a lefty that she plays outfield. I made her a lefty. I said, "You're gonna slap," and she's so good. I'm so proud of her. Aria is one of my pitchers. She came to me when she was 10. Can't, she had so much potential, but I just think she didn't understand how much potential she had. And I definitely guided her on, okay, if you want to be a pitcher, you have to practice every day. You have to be ready to put in that work. And I remember at the fall season, it was our first season together, I would call her mom and I would say, come bring her to me every day. And her mom would literally drive her to me every single day. And we'd train and train, train. Needless to say, now she's clocking about 50 something. She's just amazing to watch. She's going to be, I'm super excited to see where her future goes. But I think it's also a reason why I do what I do, because I love seeing the kids turn into something that they probably didn't even think themselves they could be. But I believed in it from the beginning. So I think it really does help. And sometimes for kids, they just need someone to believe in them, and they need someone to encourage them. Because, like I said, they're handling just so many life changes at this age, 11 to 13. And having that comfort and having that, that support system is vital.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I agree with that. So if a player comes to you, player parent comes to you, and they want to become a pitcher, having pitched before, what's the first thing that you're doing in a pitching lessons with them?
Oh, well, I tell them all the time. I say, you want to be a pitcher, you need to be ready to practice. Pitching is not athleticism. It's not, because you're just so much more gifted. It is literally, how disciplined are you to wake up every day, even if you don't want to go out there, find a soccer ball, go against the wall. And I tell and that's funny that you say that, because everyone that comes to me, even for lessons, you're interested in pitching, I say all the time, well, you need to be ready to work hard. Are you sure you want to do this? Is this something that you want to do? Because I will help you and I will guide you, but I want you to understand that it's not the type of thing you do one time a week and you expect instant success. And if that's what you're doing, we're setting you up for failure. You have to understand from the beginning, it is a process. It's definitely, I will say, being a pitcher myself, overcoming not only the discipline of, even if you don't want to go out there, you go and you keep your arm warm, but also the mental state. I mean, that is, it looks easier said than done, but I can tell you, having not pitched from 14 to 18 and then going into the collegiate level and being in that role where you have to think about it too. Like, when you're at that collegiate and you're pitching, someone's career is going to end with you throwing. And I remember it so vividly because one of my teammates was like, don't let this be my last game. And I was throwing the game. I was shaking. I was literally like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to be responsible for her last game if I do not do my job. And that is another thing, selfless mentality. You have to be selfless. It's not about you. It's about the people behind you, because everyone is counting on you to do your job, to win that game. And I tell the pitchers all the time, what's the point in everyone doing hitting lessons and fielding lessons and putting in their work whenever it's going to come down to how mentally strong you are to keep us in this game? And if you're going to go out there, you're going to give up and walk everyone or throw a fit, there's no way. We don't have a chance. And you're letting your team down. I think accountability with pitching is a big thing, and mental toughness and just teaching them how to handle that is definitely, I've as a coach had to adjust, because every kid is different. There's some that you can kind of, be a little bit more firmer with. There's some that you kind of have to be like, it's okay, you got it. But I think being a pitcher firsthand and understanding that struggle, oh my God, it's definitely it's hard. I'm not gonna lie. Like whenever the parents come to me, like, I don't know why she does that. I'm like, you don't understand. I'm like, you do not understand. That is hard. Like, let me talk to her. We'll get it fixed and we'll go from there. So pitching, anyone that wants to be pitcher, just be ready, because you got to work hard and selfless mentality. You're pitching for everyone else. You're not pitching for yourself when you're on that mound. So that's what I always tell her.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. You pitching for everybody but you. You're not pitching for yourself. Like, I'm up here pitching though, but it's not for you. It's for your teammates.
It is. You gotta have their back for sure.
So you talk about developing leaders beyond the game. What does leadership mean to you?
That's an excellent question. For one, leadership, it has many different shapes and forms. And I will say, as an adult, I have been able to really, I'm able to see it a lot more clearly now. Being a leader isn't necessarily being the first person that goes in the line or being the first person that will speak up. Leadership is staying true to yourself, your morals, and your values. And it goes back to that unbreakable mindset. Are you strong enough mentally to handle someone telling you what you believe in is wrong, or why you shouldn't, or why this way is right? And it's going against the grain and staying true to what your thoughts are. And you see it a lot. And I see it, I guess, because I'm a little bit older, so I feel so wise. But that's definitely something, is you look at the people that are easily influenced. You look at the people that can be, you kind of shake them, or mentally they can't handle getting to, it's small things like that. Leadership is how you are able to stay true to what you believe in and not being afraid to stand alone with your beliefs, even if everyone thinks it's wrong. And I think it's a display of character. It's a display of what you are as a person and what you stand for. So for me, leadership is definitely, I've had my journey with it. I've learned a lot. There's been times that I have, stood on my own, because I knew that I stood strong in what I was doing. And it's like even what I'm doing now here. I am one of the few women leaders in this area. But at the same time, to break that barrier, you're going to have to understand how to cope with going against like, I'm not the typical leader that you would look at in our community. It's just the truth. But I stay strong in who I am, and I don't let no one tell me that, you can't do it, or let anyone influence what I believe that this organization should stand for and what I'm standing for with the community, because no one's going to tell me what my thoughts are. I'm going to stay strong, stay true, and keep leading. And even if it means that I only have myself or one person behind me, it doesn't matter, because I'm doing what I'm doing because I love what I do, and I love creating opportunities and helping these kids get to the next level. And I want to impact the next generation, so that way we don't have these issues anymore. And if it takes my whole life, it's fine. But I'm going to keep going.
And I think that's the problem, like with when the smaller organizations and stuff come out. It's just that you're basically you're competing against the bigger orgs, which is gonna forever be tough. But it's up to you to show like how much fight that you're gonna have. Like, are you gonna just okay? I see, well, I can't get players, I can't get this, so I'm gonna just quit. No, because you never know, right? You can make one post or make one, somebody can say something somewhere, and now you're back out there. Somebody, okay, well, let me reach out, and like that. That's how you can get on the map. So I always say, like, for the smaller orgs, like and stuff, never just give up right away. Always see where you can get, because you never know. At one point you're gonna be here, and the next thing you know, you're gonna be moving up. Yeah, the other ones is way up here,
But I'm
but
not worried about them. I'm worried about myself.
exactly. You do what you do. You have your path. You don't be like, well, they did this, so let me take a right turn. Let me go over here with them. No, you keep going on your path and do what you know, what you can do.
Yes, and I exactly what you're saying. I think a lot of those life lessons are learned from softball. So
Mhm.
I think that this is how we can use this for these young women to have a positive outlet, and how they can take these lifelong lessons and apply them to
Mhm.
their jobs, to whatever they choose to do. And as long as you stay strong, you stay resilient. And like I mentioned, it's like showing up whenever you're pitching or hitting, you're not seeing results. It's the same thing with me when I was starting this off. And I still have my days where I'm like, what am I doing wrong? But I know for me and my sake, I'm going to give it my all, and nothing's going to break me. Like, even if it means it's just me, it's just me. I don't care. I'm
Mhm.
I'm cool with that. I'll impact 5 lives. That's cool.
Right.
That's what I want to do.
Mhm.
So I feel very strong in my beliefs and strong where I'm standing. And like I mentioned to you, yes, essentially, I always feel like being a small organization and you see these powerhouses, it is intimidating, but it's also a testament to my mindset and how strong mentally am I to
Mhm.
let something intimidate me before I even try. That's not going to happen. I'm going to just keep going. So, yeah, I'm very passionate about that. It almost brings like my competitive side out for sure. Cause I'm like, oh, you think I can't do it? I can.
Right. Yeah.
Definitely. It's been a whirlwind, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm so glad I started it, and I'm excited to see, what more we can do with the community, because
Mhm.
that's my main thing, is impact as many lives as possible.
Yep. I agree. I agree. So, how important is keeping a positive environment and positive people around you?
Vital. One, I always say a cancer. There's always going to be a cancer in the bunch. And it is very important that you surround yourself with people who also have those same morals, values, and intentions. Because at the end of the day, if you have someone that is, it's almost, they're trying to take what you're building down from the inside.
Mhm.
So for me, it is very important. I do not want myself, nor do I want these young women to be around people that are being negative or impacting their softball journey, their self esteem, their confidence, anything that has to do. And that's something I'm very big on, is confidence and self esteem. I have a very strong line between that, because there's ways that we can correct them, but we don't need to belittle them. We can find a way to navigate how to hold them accountable, but also not ruin their self esteem. And then they play all scared, and then they're terrified and don't want to come. So it is very important for me that we maintain a positive environment from the inside and from the outside, and we surround ourselves with those that have the same intentions and values. Because if not, you know, not everyone is going to have the same ones as you, and you have to accept that. Not It's almost like whenever you're in high school, like not everyone's going to like you, but you're going to find your people, you're going to grow, and it's about, like I said, just creating more opportunities. And it starts with also who you surround yourself with. So I will say too, I have amazing families, I have amazing mentors, I mean, I've grown to love these people that I'm around and I've trained. I actually had an internship with one of my pitchers, Camila, the one that's been with me for years. I interned with her mom. So I feel for some of, my clients and my community that I've built, that little family, we definitely have been able to flourish and grow so much because of that positive environment and that same values that we all hold. And it's been such an amazing experience. I always tell them, like, you're like my friend. They're great. I love them. Awesome people.
So, as a trainer, how important is communication between trainers, athletes, and parents?
Vital. Especially because I do feel it is very important for the kids to understand how to take correction from a coach. There's so many times that I feel kids are going to struggle with understanding coachability because of that barrier. And it's not that the coach, as an instructor, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying to guide you and let you understand, okay, well, this is what we need to do. And also, I like to teach these kids how to be independent, because a lot of the times when you hit that high school or you hit that, and for me, I struggle with it as well, when you hit college, you need to learn that you have to advocate for yourself. You have to be able to communicate with your coach. You want something, you're going to have to go speak to adults. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to fight with them, but you have to understand how to have those conversations. Because at the end of the day, if you want a starting spot, your mom is not going to go and talk for you at the high school or collegiate level. It's going to have to come from you. And I instill that also with my team. And I tell the parents from the beginning, I don't care to hear where you want your daughter to play. I want her to come to me, explain to me, and you never just go and say, I want to play position. You say, what can I do to get opportunities to be in the rotation or get in there? Because I know for me, witnessing it at the high school and collegiate level, a lot of girls, I think they lost opportunity to play or have that spot because they didn't understand how to communicate properly with the coach. And I think it could have been resolved with, okay, well, what do you think I need to do better to get my opportunity? And it may seem simple, but it starts right there. That, what can you communicate with your instructor or trainer, and can you talk for yourself and understand that this relation, like, you have to be able to be independent. You have to be able to speak for yourself. You have to be confident, and you want something in life, you got to speak up. Closed mouths don't get fed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. So, what has been the biggest challenge you faced while building your organization?
Gosh. There's been a few things. I definitely don't want to harp on, the crazy ones, but gosh, it's been a whirlwind of emotions. There were days that, I mean, you have to remember, at the time when I started, I was 21, 22. I'm 24 now, and I'm telling you, that 3 years, it does something to you, for sure. It may not seem like a lot of time, but it was. And during that time, I've undergone so many challenges, adversities, obstacles. I've had, people. It's a sport that raised me. It's a sport that it's all I've ever known. And I still have to prove that I know what I'm doing. And it's almost like you're under a microscope. They're watching. And I mean, for me, it doesn't really bother me, because at the end of the day, adversity is not something that I'm just now getting used to. It's my whole life. I've had to overcome it. Playing softball, I had to overcome having those strong competitors. And there's always going to be someone waiting for you to fail. And there's always going to be someone, but you have to, like I said, unbreakable mindset, leadership, and understanding what you believe in. So that being said, how does that correlate to me as a leader here? Well, there's been times that I didn't think I was going to make it, or I didn't have, everything kind of was just falling apart. I didn't have an assistant, or I didn't have the fields, or whatever the case may be, but I adapted. I adjusted, and I made sure that I did what I needed to do to maintain the facilities, the space, and the opportunity to keep impacting my athletes that have stayed with me through that time. So definitely, and I hate to bring it up, but it is different when you are a younger woman in this field. It just is what it is. It's a male dominated field.
Yep.
Do I use that card all the time? No, it is what it is. I can't feel sorry for myself, but there are times that I do feel, that weight gets heavy on me, but it doesn't bother me. It just is what it is. I mean, I can't feel sorry for myself, but that's life. I mean, everyone goes through their own obstacles. Mine may have been a little bit harder than others, or others may have it way harder, but it's how you overcome it, and it's how you handle failure, and it's how are you going to go back up? Like when I had no fields, when my team was down to only 9 kids exactly, we had limited funds. I knew I had to be resourceful because we weren't going to end our journey like that together. There was no way I was going to let that happen. And mind you, I think at that time I was 22, 23. God, I get the days so mixed up, but I was very young. I was young, but I knew I wasn't going to fail these kids and these families. And I did all I could to make sure that we ended our journey together on the right note. And if that meant that we had to be resourceful and use whatever space we did or needed to, then we were. But I think it's just a big testament to, okay, how, like, your morals, values, character, what is going to make you and your organization or whatever you're building, how are you going to survive, like in a sea of sharks? You have to just be able to adjust. So it is what it is, but yeah. I laugh about it sometimes, but it's like traumatizing when I think about it. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that time.
Yeah.
I didn't have a field. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
We used the little football field out in the O'Connor, but
right.
No big deal.
Yeah.
I remember whenever we finally got a field again, they were like, "This is nice." I was like, "Yes." We did not know how to act. We were all happy out with the lights and everything. Like, ooh, and they even had their own bathrooms. It was really nice.
Yeah. Because some fields don't have bathrooms. You got to go to the nearest store.
Yes, but it makes you grateful, and it makes you also understand. I think that having the space and the resources does make a very big difference. But if you want it to happen, you'll make it happen.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What are some things you're doing behind the scenes to grow your organization?
Yeah, so I definitely have been trying to create more pathways, connections. I definitely also, behind the scenes, I do a lot more than probably what people realize with partnering. I contact a lot of my old friends that do recruiting, do coaching. Eloy Pacheco is one of them. He actually has been one of my mentors through all of this. I'll actually text him and say, hey, I have a kid, or can you tell me your thoughts on this? My college coach, Coach Rains, I actually have gone, my pitcher, she's been able to work with Coach Rains and kind of evaluate and tell me, okay, when we need to do this, you need to improve here. I will say the softball community is just a great community because all of these people that are helping are people of my past and teammates, coaches. My old high school coach came out, coached a game. My friends that played at UTSA, they came and led practice. My friend is also a catching coach here at DBAP. She talks to the girls. And also we work together and we collaborate. I'll tell her, okay, can you work with one of the girls on framing? I need her to work on. And it's wonderful because it's like a community and it's a positive one where we are all on. It's not competitive or it's not cutthroat. It's literally we're all trying to work together and navigate how we can help these kids, how we can help them grow, develop, all of that. So for Mission City Fast Pitch part, I will say I try my best to advocate for these kids. And I also try my best to get them the most opportunities and resources. So that way when they hit that, that age range of 14, 15, they already have their name kind of out there. Because my goal is for my kids that have been with me in the next couple of years when they leave me and they fly the nest. It's going to be so hard for me to say bye. But I want to see them with the scholarship. And if that means that I reach out to everyone that I know, and we start with player profiling. I teach them how to do it. I mean, if you have someone guiding you, that's half the battle. And they're talented enough, I know they'll get there. So that is my goal. That's really what I try to do with the Mission City Fast Pitch aspect. Mission City Athletics, I actually am proud to say I have partnered with numerous organizations that share those same values of creating opportunities, resources, and accessibility for the San Antonio community. So one of them that launched was Stover Hills, amazing church. Definitely anyone that is from San Antonio should go check it out. I'm hosting a free clinic there. I'm also partnering with Edgewood ISD. October 3rd, I'm going to be partnering with them and creating opportunities for those Edgewood ISD students, so that way they can have quality instruction and development, all of the things that come with giving back to the community and making sure that these kids are learning the correct fundamentals and having access to this coaching as well, regardless of where you come from. So I have that one, and then I'm, God, I forgot the other one. Oh my God. There's another one in there. I'm having a brain fart right now, but those are, City of San Antonio. That's fun. Okay. The City of San Antonio is also partnering with me. It's launching. So you're actually one of the first ones to hear it. It's launching next week. I am creating a program with them where I am also giving back to the community. And I have a field. I will be doing monthly clinics there. I also speak to children. I do mentorship, leadership, motivational speaking, teaching these kids how to understand discipline when being a student athlete, and having them also understand that when you're a student athlete and you want to play at the collegiate level, you have to be able to navigate making those difficult decisions that come with being, 16, 17, 18. They want to go to football games, or they're going to want to go, but sometimes you're going to have a tournament and you need to be at your tournament. And it's just having that sacrifice. You still have a good time, but you definitely need to learn to navigate those choices, because they will impact you for the rest of your life. And it's intense, but I try my best to tell them what decision you make here is really going to show. And you don't want to live the rest of your life in regret, because you're going to regret not giving it your all in a sport that you've dedicated your whole life to.
I agree with that.
I try to help them, guide them. But I know it's difficult at that age, because, they're thinking they know everything. I was too. I was like that too.
So what's some of the best advice that you've ever received?
God, I'm trying to think. There's been just so many wonderful, impactful mentors that I've had that it's hard to pinpoint a specific one, but I can say my parents are definitely one. They have shown me what it means to be, have a strong mindset and believe in what you want to do, and don't let anyone tell you can't do it. Because I will say that, that is one thing, I guess. My dad always told me, don't be weak-minded. Don't be weak-minded. You keep going. And as harsh as it sounded, I think that's a reason why I'm able to do what I do. And it's because I just grew up on that. It's don't be weak-minded. You keep going. Or why aren't you like small things like that I at that time I thought they were being mean. It really wasn't. I think it was to help keep me disciplined. And I think that's also a big thing for kids. As if you do not create that structure at home, or you don't encourage that or lay that foundation, kids are kids, and they naturally are they will lose that motivation here and there, and they will struggle time to time. But I think at home is where it also makes a big difference. Mm-hmm. You got to have, those tough conversations with them, and tell them in that tough love moment where, you got to get them back on track. And I think that's a big thing, especially with the newer generations, because I do substitute teaching as well for Northside. So I see just the difference in, just the way that we were raised as kids. Me and my friends talk about all the time. Like, we were literally, like, it is just so different nowadays.
Yes, but different, yes.
It's navigating it and understanding it. And if I can be that impact and I can be the one to help motivate them or get them back in line, then I'll do that. And I'll be the bad person, but they'll realize it when they get older. That's how I
Right.
was with, my high school coach. I thought she was so mean to me in the beginning, but she truly made me the athlete that I am, and I'm so grateful for her. We have a great relationship. I think that freshman year, though, I really didn't understand, but I look at the structure that she set, the foundation she laid for me for my career in that program. I think that's why I was able to thrive, and it's why I was able to continue to the collegiate level. So it takes sometimes that person to be, really firm and almost make you question if are you made for it. But I mean, it's all for good. There's always going to be a good out of it. Because I remember also, there's one thing, Brian Sandera was my coach, Coach Sandera, wonderful coach, one of the best coaches ever. Him, Coach B, and Coach Rains, some of my idols. He would always just be so positive, and he would just, he was a great mentor. He's another one that also really guided me as well. He believed in me when I probably didn't even believe in myself. And definitely a very impactful coach. He loves what he does, you could tell. And we feed off it. Like, I tell coaches that all the time as well. The kids can feel it. Like, when you're playing for your coach, you can feel and it's funny because as a coach, I had to navigate those struggles. Because they really, if I was, I was mad because we didn't execute what we work on every day of practice, and they felt my energy, and it's a domino. So I will say, coaches also, you can control that game much more than what you realize. And if they can feel it, I swear to God, there were times that I feel I kept us in games because I was literally just like, let's go. You keep making noise, and something will always happen. So definitely, you set the tone. I tell everyone that if you're a coach, you set the tone. You're mad, you have to go shake it off. It's the same thing. You have to be mentally tough and shake it off too.
You're right. You're right about that.
Yeah.
So, what's some advice that you would give to a young athlete?
I think for sure, discipline, structure, and I think a big thing that I would tell any athlete is you have to be okay with failure, and you have to be okay with you have to accept that you are not always going to do good. You're not always going to execute, and you're going to always, like, I hate saying it, but you're always going to find some type of struggle, some type of adversity that you're going to face in that moment. And I think that is where we as people find ourselves in that defining moment of what we're going to become, of what type of people and what type of mindset, competitor, person. And it differentiates the leaders from the followers, in my opinion, because those people that stay down when life gets hard, or you make an error and you're pissed off and you let it ruin your entire tournament performance. Are you going to let that error, it is what it is. You can't do nothing about it. Right. But are you going to ruin the rest of your day because of that one? Are you going to let one thing ruin? If I let one little problem that I faced ruin my whole life or my whole day, I wouldn't be here today. It's a defining moment for a lot of kids. So I always try to tell them, understand how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, and learn how to handle failure and adversity and thrive in it. Find a way, like when you're in that mode, you go into fight or flight. Find your fight. Do so, like, be headstrong, be mentally tough. That's my one thing that I can give to athletes, because that goes beyond sports, and it's something that's going to follow them for years, regardless of what they do in their jobs, in their lives, whatever. I think that's also why I love the power that sports has on these young kids. And like I said, it's very impactful in so many more ways than what people assume it is. So that's my one piece of advice for sure for these young athletes.
Okay. My final question I have for you is, who would you like to see on the podcast?
Oh, on the podcast. Oh, well, there's a couple people, but I'm going to name two people.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
I want to nominate Aria, my little pitcher. She's really, really good. And her mother, Geraldine. Her mom, Jardine, is so cool. I love her. She's so cool. You'll see when you meet her. You'll see. She's Fabu. She's awesome. And I will say too, I think Arya and Jardine have a special place in my heart because they believed. Not only did I believe in Arya, but I feel they believed in me at times when I didn't believe in myself as a coach. They always have stuck by my side. They've never once ever have questioned why I do what I do. I remember in the beginning, and I think it's very, for when you're running a team and you're in that coaching role, it makes you see what people are around you for the right reasons. That being said, I'm going to elaborate on that. When Arya was on my team and she would come to pitching lessons with me, she'd come every week, but I wouldn't always pitch her because she just wasn't ready yet. And I would tell her, I'm like, you're going to get a pool game. You need to learn how to move. And it's different. Like I mentioned, that mental, it's hard for them to overcome. Okay, I walk two people. Am I going to keep walking, or am I going to find a way to fight a way back and strand the runners? And there were times that in the beginning, I wouldn't play much. And Geraldine never once ever called me, asked me for her, canceled less. Like, we literally just kept working. And she kept saying, and I remember because one time my respect for her just changed so much that day. I always respected her, but I mean, it went to a different level. As I remember specifically her saying, well, I told her she needs to work harder if she wants to. Maybe you need to work harder. Maybe you need to push yourself more because Gabby's not putting you for a reason. And I think that's a great just story that I love to tell people, that the development process, it's about trusting the process. Like, your kid is not going to do good right off the bat. It's going to be a process, but if you trust the journey and you trust in whoever you're letting lead you and your child, let the results speak for itself. Give it time and it'll show up. So that being said, I is so proud of just what she's become. And I think her mother had a big role in that, because had she not been on the same page as me, and had she not, understood the process and respected it, I think that we would be in a lot different situation. But I really love them, and great people. I think she's very talented, and Geraldine's awesome as well.
Okay. Well, we need to get them on here and let them hear what they have to say.
Yes.
All right, Gabby. Nay, I appreciate you, taking your time out, being on the podcast. Wish you the best. I wish you the best with everything, with all the things you got going on. Mission Athletics, Mission Fast Pitch, and also the training lab. I look forward to just, continue to collab with you. You got more athletes, you got trainers that in your facility or whatever. If any of them would like to be, on the podcast, it's not a problem. You can just reach out, let me know, give me that information, and we can go from there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me. And I also wanted to say I'm very inspired by the platform that you have created for these young athletes to be able to speak for themselves, bring positive feedback, awareness. It's very impactful. I'm so inspired by it. And thank you so much for what you do for the community. People like you are the people that I like to keep in my circle, because we all have the same goal, and that is creating opportunities, resources, and everything that we can do for these kids to have success in their journey.
Yes, and that's exactly what I'm doing.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, and I look forward to collabing. Shoot me a text and talk to you soon.
All right. Same to you. Have a good night.
You too.
All right.